Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast.
This pig came bottling.
Just ended up puking last night. It sucked.
Whoa! Ah! We gut it, we wrap it in tinfoil, throw it over the fire.
Alrighty, this is the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast. I believe episode 42, if I remember correctly. And I have a returning guest today. I have Ian Cummings on. Ian is a fellow police officer with me. We went to college together and then police academy together. And anyway, he, just like last year, went on a hog hunt, and they went to a different place this time. He had good luck. I almost know nothing about his hog hunting experience. I know I talked loads about what I did this year with the hog hunt, so I'm interested to hear what he did. I know he's had luck before. I'm excited to hear his story. I'm going to let him introduce himself a little bit. And, we'll get into the good stuff. Go ahead, Ian.
All right, man. Yeah, it's good to be back on. Second time only hunting, like you said, hogs again. So it was super exciting. I know you guys just went out. Where were you guys, out in Texas or something like that, right?
Yep, we went to Centerville,
Where
Texas.
Did you guys go? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys got a bunch, right?
Huh?
You guys got a bunch of them, right?
Yeah. So essentially, what he was doing down there was it is a high fence operation, and what he does is he traps for other ranchers in the area, and then he puts them in. I think he had 3 different high fences, and he put the big ones are in like a 10 to 15 acre piece. I don't remember exactly. So I'm not gonna lie, it's shooting fish in a barrel. I was struggling calling it hog hunting because there is a high fence operation. The way I kind of looked at it is you're going there to acquire meat. You're guaranteed to bring something home. It's good lean hog meat. It tastes good. I've been eating it all summer long, so I struggle calling it hog hunting. It's more like hog killing, but it was fun. It was a blast. We got to work on some skills like stalking, and and it tastes good.
I can't blame you. Yeah, and last time, I talked about mine, and with no experience from last time, I wasn't really sure what all I'd gotten into. But I kind of felt the same way after last year, like you did. It was kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. They come out to the feeder, and it was just like, boom, got one.
Mm-hmm.
This time we went to a High Adventure Ranch down in Missouri. And I don't want to speak bad about the last one we went to either. They were fantastic, super great to work with. We had a blast, but this one was way more of, that stalk and hunt here.
Oh, yeah.
So like I said, High Adventure Ranch, could not give them higher praises. Our guide was fantastic. Way out in the middle of nowhere, like we had no cell service. We could only get Wi-Fi in the place where we went to go eat meals and stuff like that. So it was a great weekend for that. Like we were, really secluded. It was a little warm. We were there in July, but it was an awesome time. We got out there. Like I said, no service, no nothing, which for me was awesome. I was kind of looking forward to that little bit of a break on the weekend, just kind of take a few days and get away from it all, hang out down there. And so you get out there and you just, show up, call, they buzz you in, stuff like that. And as we're driving out there, like we're realizing how big this property is. Like they've got a ton of fenced in area out there, and the animals are just wandering all over the place. Like you see them everywhere. And so we meet with our guide to get this to our cabin, which was awesome. It was more like an A-frame cabin. We all had beds upstairs. It was super, super nice. But I mean, as we're like walking into our cabin, there is a and I'm going to mess up what I thought it was a fallow deer, but I don't think I think he actually said it was something else. I'm not going to remember now.
Yeah,
but there was a fallow deer.
Axis deer, maybe?
It might have been. It's one of those two. I don't know.
Yeah, they're very similar. At least with the spots and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep. She was bedded down literally on the corner of our cabin, and I mean, feet away from us. It was so neat. She had 2 little does with her, and the guy was like, "Yeah, they're not gonna bother you. Just don't get between her and the does, and she's not gonna care." And I mean, the entire time we were there, they pretty much bedded down right there. If we were outside, we were, feet away away from these things, and they didn't care. It was super neat. But so we got set to go, went down on our first day, and they're like, yep, like go eat lunch and we'll get out after that. Part of the thing was like all of they feed you all 3 meals while you're there. And it's all made with meat and everything that they gather from their animals. And so like that was super neat. There's a lot of stuff like I hadn't tried before and just things like that. They had, like all the boar and bison and red stag and all sorts of stuff.
So they raise all that stuff out there too?
Oh yeah. Yep. So they've got tons of stuff out that way. And like I said, I think some people may end up donating some of their meat back and stuff like that, or if the guy gets some, that's what you eat in the mess hall. So that was super exciting for me. That's probably a little dorky, but I didn't really care. I thought it was super cool.
Sounds cool. I've never had like red stag before.
Oh yeah, like that was the homemade meals they were making for us. I mean, they made everything from like biscuits and gravy and stuff like that in the morning, to like pizza and burgers, and it was good. But so we get down there, we go eat our lunch, talk with our guide a little bit more, get our stuff set, and then we're off and running that first day.
How many I know you told me before I started recording, but just for everybody else, how many people went on this hunt with you?
So it was same as last year, the same 3 guys, so me and 2 others. We decided our order, when we first started out, and like that we got into the hog pen, and it was a nice big area. We started stalking immediately, but we decided our order of those 2 guys would go first. And again, I'm not ripping on them too much. I'll rip on them a little bit, since last year they didn't get their pins and I did.
Yeah, you're the killer of the group.
Oh, man, I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, you guys go. Like, I'll wait. I'm not too concerned. It's our first day. Like, we'll see what we come up with. So my buddy Jake's going first. We're walking through, and the guide. He stops us fast. We're a couple minutes in, and he's already stopping us. And he's like, "You guys see that?" And I couldn't see a thing, man. I had no idea. I looked at Josh, the other guy out with us who wasn't hunting. He was back with me, and he's like, "Dude, I don't see anything either." So the guide and Jake go up a little ways, and Jake must have seen it. He got it and everything like that. So we're standing back and watching him stalk, and I was like, man, I don't know where this hog's at. I don't know how he's gonna hit in any. I'm like, if this is what we're in for, like we might be screwed, because I don't see a thing. And he's like, yep. He's like, there's a big old boar. He's like, it's kind of burrowed in underneath this tree. And Jake gets set up on it, everything like that. Again, I have no idea when he's going to shoot or what, because I still can't see the thing.
What's he hunting
and
with?
Finally, he had a AR-10, so he was out there with his 308. I had my Browning bolt action 308, and then Josh had a AR-15 and 300 blackout.
There you go.
So not too bad. Jake and I, same guns as last year. Josh had a bow last year, so he decided he was going gun this year.
I don't blame him.
I don't either, man. That was wild with the bow last year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
But yeah, so Jake lines up on him, and the guide is talking him basically onto this shot, and he lets it fly, and all of a sudden you just hear it just go rolling down this hill. I'm like, man, I couldn't see it the whole time till it finally started rolling down the hill and kind of came to a spot down in the bottom of it. That was the only time I could see this thing. He nabbed it. It's probably close to like, oh man, it must have been like 450 pounds or something like that. Like, they had big guys. Oh yeah, they had big guys out there.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. When we were hunting, man, there was nothing even remotely close. I think the biggest one that was killed was like 190. So that's nuts.
Yeah, these things were big. I couldn't believe it. And like I said, I couldn't even see this thing. I'm like, man, it was massive, but it was just down in this little burrow underneath the tree. It was nice and hot, and so they were just kind of tucked and trying to stay cool. But yeah, he nabbed that. Right off the bat. And we're like, okay, well, that was fast for our first one, and it's like, okay, we're probably gonna have to stalk for a while now, because they would have all heard that.
So back up a little bit. So what kind of terrain we talking about here? Like open, wooded. What's
So
the
it
country
was
look
pretty
like?
heavily wooded.
Mm-hmm.
We were just out, lots of hills, lots of woods.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not going to be taking a shot over 100 yards. I don't think any of ours
Mm-hmm.
were. Man, I don't know if any of ours were even over 50.
That's gonna be my next question. Was how far shots we looking at? So.
Yeah, we stalked pretty good. And again, it is a little bit easier when
Mm-hmm.
I mean these pigs are raised out there, and
Mm-hmm.
so they get humans and stuff.
Yeah.
But
What kind of he tell you acreage wise, like how big that high fence operation is?
no, not off the top. I know he did, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna blank on it. I could pull up their site, but
Nah, you good.
I just off the top of my head.
If
But they've
anybody's
got,
interested, they can go check out the website, and I'll probably put the link in my bio so they can go check it out.
yeah, no, they had quite a few. I want to say it's like 2,000 acres, but
Oh
I
damn.
might be.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, they got a ton out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, yeah, it wooded, hilly, rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot of long distance shots, but I mean, you can definitely spook them. There's a few times we'd start getting close and they'd spook, but we'll get there.
Yep.
And so, yeah, rolls down the hill. We're just like, okay, like awesome. Got our first one bagged. First couple minutes out, great. They radio back to the camp. And speaking of the train, this is where it got super neat to me. Again, it's probably a little dorky. Like I am not super great on like four-wheelers.
Yep.
Watching dudes like climb down these ravines and like roll backwards and all of this. I mean, the people who were coming to pick up these pigs on their four-wheelers and stuff was wild to me because, I mean, they're so used to it. This dude was like backing down the ravine and like climbing over rocks and stuff, and then just, loaded the pig up and did it again with like 450 pounds on the front of this four-wheeler.
Just
So
another
to me,
day
I was
for
just
them,
sitting there,
huh?
I'm like, man, I would have crashed immediately if that was me trying to get down to this pig.
Yep.
So it was super impressive that they were. I mean, this is what they do all the time, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
no, it was neat to just watch them climb down there and got some good pictures. Loaded the pig up, and it was Josh's turn past that, and so we start stalking again, and we get pretty out there. We're trying to basically there's some water holes out there since it was so warm. We figured that's where they'd be going to next. They're not going to be getting in these burrows again since we were just shooting.
Yep.
And so we're kind of making our way out towards these water holes and stuff. And we actually stalked, I think, the longest with Josh.
Mm-hmm.
I think his or mine's got to be close, but we stalked for quite a while, and there would be a few times like we fell back pretty far off of Josh and the guide just
Mm-hmm.
because like they were starting to get spooked pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
So he stalked for a while. Finally got up on one that I want to say we were coming up behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And his shot rides just a little high. Again, I'm not talking crap or anything about it. He had a great shot. He fine shot it and everything like that.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, these suckers are just so tough with those like gristle plates and everything on them.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
That was the craziest thing, man. Like I was same thing.
Wild.
Yeah, just even like 100-pound hog when they were showing us the gristle plate on it, I'm like, holy cow.
I mean, our 308s weren't even fully like they were going in and they were not going out the backside.
Mm-hmm.
That blew me away. Last year, like my 308 punched through the one I was shooting at, and so the fact that we were shooting these ones and they were not even coming close to getting through was just wild to me. So Josh gets a spine shot on his. We start coming up on it. It's not totally down yet. I had my pistol on me, and so I ended up shooting it again with my pistol for that. And
what were you shooting with the pistol?
I just had my Springfield Armory Hellcat on me, so it's just a little 9mm.
Oh yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's the first time I ever shot anything with that. Obviously,
I gotta get off topic here for a little bit. So I've been looking at that Springfield for a while now. Let me
I love
tell
it.
me what you think.
I absolutely love the thing. I have carried and run all of those other little subcompacts that are on the market right now. I ran around with a Glock 43 for a little bit. I ran around with a Glock 26. I used and shot the SIG P365, and I love the Hellcat, man. Just far and away the round capacity of it, the size of it. I put a Holosun Red Dot on mine, and I won't go back.
Good to know.
I won't carry anything else. Like I love all my other guns. Like, don't get me wrong, they all have their purposes and whatnot. But as far as me carrying off duty and concealed and everything, like that is my just ultimate concealed gun. Like I love running around with that thing. I don't even notice that I'm wearing it most of the time.
Good to know, because I got the Springfield Mod too, and I love that gun, but it's a little bulky for summertime, so I want something a little smaller, and that's I've been thinking about the M&P Shield or the Springfield Hellcat, and I haven't, and I've shot the Shield before, but I've never shot the Hellcat, but I've heard nothing but good things, so that's why I wanted to ask you.
I love it, man. I'm not a big fan of the shields. I'm just not. I don't like the triggers and stuff like that. Again, not ripping on anybody who shoots them or anything like that. They're just not for me. I really like everything about the Hellcat. Like I said, mine was already the MOS one, so I could already put a red dot on it. So I just got a plate through CNH Precision, and they make awesome plates for red dots, everything like that. Bought a plate through them, threw it on there. Haven't looked back. Fantastic gun.
All right, well, good to know. I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, so anyways, I go to shoot this thing with that, and I don't even know where. Like, he told me where to shoot. I know that's where I shot, but man, I looked, and those things are so just like I couldn't even tell where my round went in. I have no idea.
Oh, yeah?
I wish I could have seen the round. They found Jake's 308 and brought it to him, and all but one of the talons of the hollow point like folded back into the round. There's one talon that was still out. The rest of them all folded back into the round. It was wild.
That is weird.
So I wish I could have seen what the 9mm looked like, but they didn't find that one, I don't think. So, or they did. We didn't see it, but I want to see. I want to know what it looked like. If it did that much to a 308, I'm like, man, it's got to destroy a 9mm.
Yeah, that's what I think. So I got lucky. The only handgun kills we had on our hog hunt were both with 45. One guy it was a small pig. It was like a 50-pound pig. He made a headshot. He's a deputy here locally. But he made a headshot on the small pig, and then later on we had a pig that had got somebody had shot with a bow, and it was still alive. And I snuck up on it and put two 45 rounds behind the right behind the shoulder. They punched through the skin and got into, if I remember correctly, they got into the one lung, and maybe one of them might have even been into the heart, but it didn't penetrate all the way to the other side. Like it, pretty much that skin and gristle really stopped a lot of the kinetic force.
Yeah, those things are like just tanks. I thought about bringing. I have a Smith & Wesson 686 6-inch barrel revolver. It's a 357, and I thought about bringing that. But I just decided not to. I wasn't sure how well the 357 would do against those things, and I'm kind of happy I probably didn't bring it. I don't know how it would have done. I did bring my 44 mag lever action, but I didn't use that. Like I said, I used my 308. But yeah, so Josh gets his. They're as we're kind of waiting and everything for that. I'm watching these dudes on the four-wheelers just roll around through wild stuff, and as we finally get his loaded up, a little baby one runs out. I'm like, oh man, there's mine. And I'm kind of laughing, joking, because this is a little tiny thing, and the guide actually goes, oh no man, you can shoot those. It's $50 for one of those little ones. He's like, we call them roasters. I was like, what? He goes, oh yeah man, $50, you pop one of those little guys, and he's like, they are great to just like throw in a smoker.
Yep.
I was like, that's hilarious. I was like, I kind of want to shoot one now for $50, but I was like, no, I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, I kind of felt bad at how little that thing was, but oh yeah. He's like, nope, you can get those things. And he's like, we just charge you by there's a certain amount per weight for the little ones, and he goes, yeah, we just call them all roasters. But I was like, oh man, I was like, I kind of wish I would have shot it now. $50 for a little guy like that. I was like, man, that would have been kind of cool.
Yep.
But so we, like I said, we get Josh's all loaded up, and then it's my turn.
How big was Josh's?
Somewhere above, I want to say like 375, 350, 375, something like that. I think I might be underselling him. I don't remember.
That's still a big pig. Like I said, we didn't have anything that big where we were at.
They did not have little ones when we were out there.
Damn, that's awesome though. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. And so we start again stalking from there. We're still kind of making our way down to this one big watering hole. Again, I can't remember if mine or Josh's was longer. Like I said, I was stalking during mine, so I wasn't paying too close attention. It felt like it took forever. So mine could have been the shortest, who knows? But it felt like it took forever, man. But so we're just going, and again, Josh and Jake now have fallen back pretty good. We're trying not to spook them, and we hear a whole bunch of them down by this watering hole as we're coming up on it. It sounds like there's a whole bunch kind of fighting and wallowing and stuff like that. And they're all just kind of wandering around, and they're a pretty good distance out though. And then there's a bunch down low. So we're kind of up above the watering hole. So I can't see these ones down low too well.
Yeah.
But there's one that's, moving in and out of these trees that I'm kind of watching across the watering hole. So it kind of dips down and then starts to obviously rise up on the other side. And then there's the fence actually at the end of the pig fence. And he's telling me, he's like, okay, he's like, this one's going to move through the trees. He's like, you got to get your shot good, because he's like, if not, you're going to hit a tree, you're going to miss him, whatever. But he's moving through the tree. Actually, she, and, I was like, okay. And as soon as I take a step, she stops dead and looks over at us. And I'm like, man, I didn't even make a noise or anything. He goes, I don't know if she saw us. I don't know if she can smell us. But he's like, just move slow. And he's like, just don't worry about it. I was like, okay. So I start moving, nothing, like not breaking off of us, just like, almost staring us down. Like I'm just watching her, waiting for her to start running. And so he's like, okay, he's like, if you can move quick and get to that tree, and there's just a big kind of tree to my left, he's like, I think you'll be good and you'll get a shot. I was like, okay. And as soon as I start moving, he's like, no. He's like, hold on. He's like, there is a even bigger one. He's like, just come up. He's like, and this was even further to our left, is coming kind of up the other side from, the watering hole. It was coming up the far side. He's like, no. He's like, go for that one. He's like, it's way bigger. He's like, holy crap. He's like, I didn't even know we had ones that big out here.
Yep.
I was like, oh man. I'm like, okay. So I turn and look, massive. Right through these two trees. Like I turned, look, lined it up, and just shot. I was like, okay. I'm like, I gotta take it.
Yep.
And it freezes for a second, and I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, here we go. Because last year mine absolutely took off flying on me. So I was like, man, I'm like, here we go again. I'm like, everybody else has dropped fine. I was like, mine's gonna take off on me. And nope, down immediately. I was like, oh man. I'm like, okay, that's fantastic. I was so excited. The guide was, super amped. He was great. Just, super positive, super excited for all of us. He's like, I don't even get excited when I hunt anymore. He's like, I get excited when you guys hunt, because he's like, that was awesome.
Yep.
It was so cool. So we get over there, and I honestly couldn't tell you how big mine was. It was massive, to the point that we did not call a four-wheeler. He walked back, got the truck, brought it all the way back around through the gate, just because we were right there by the fence, and it took all four of us to get it up in the bed of the truck. So it was a massive pig.
Yep, and for everybody who's watching this on YouTube when it's out, I will have, if you haven't noticed already, there's going to be pictures flashing in the corner, and that's going to be, you're going to see Ian's pig. So yeah, it is a biggin. I know, like I said, I have not seen a pig in the wild that big. In my one trip I've went, and yeah, it was. I was jealous in a good way. I'm like, I'm super happy for you when you got that. I'm like, damn, that's a big pig.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was so exciting. Like I said, I had no idea this one was even walking up there to my left. I was so focused in on that one, just staring me down and everything like that. I was like, all right, like fine, if we're gonna have a stare down, like I'm going for it. And man, I was so happy the guy had caught me before I shot, just because this was. I mean, this was a big pig.
So was that the biggest pig then? Was that bigger than the first one that got shot?
I think so. Again, I'm not totally sure. I'm not gonna make fun of Jake too much. I think mine might have been bigger than his was. But yeah, it was awesome. Jake also wanted to go for a male just because he wanted the tusks and the skull and everything.
Yep. No, I get that.
Josh and I both were like, you know what, man, we want to go just for good eating and stuff like that. So Jake got a lot more sausage out of his than what we did. But I mean, it filled the cooler I brought and everything. Like, it was to the point that like the cooler had started lifting up, and we just like closed the bed topper over the top of it to hold it down. Mine was slammed. But no, it was awesome. Got that, downed it. I mean, also all three of us got all of ours on our first day out there, which was fantastic for us because then we could just sit out there and relax the rest of the time.
Yeah. How long did you guys plan on going out there for?
So we went down Thursday and stayed in a hotel before we went down there. We actually didn't need to do that. We didn't know they were going to have us wait till after lunch. We could have left Friday morning.
I got you.
But so that was Friday, and then we had all day Saturday, and then we were leaving Sunday to come back.
Okay. Gotcha. So you just got to chill and relax the rest of the time?
Oh man, yeah, it was great for the rest of the time down there. Like I said, we loaded all of our stuff up. They actually did a deal, which is we booked this really early. I don't remember. I think it was in April or something like that is when we ended up booking the hunt, just because they had a deal going that it was if you booked your hunt before the end of April, they would do all of the cutting and processing for free.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, man, that's an awesome deal. Like, we can't pass that up. So we jumped on it, and we're just like, all right, we're going with whatever.
Now, when you say processing, do they actually make the sausage and stuff for you, or did you guys have to do that when you get back?
Oh, no, they did everything for us. Like, we just had to show up Sunday morning with our coolers, and they had it all vacuum sealed and everything and ready to go.
Damn, hard to beat that.
Oh, I know. It was fantastic. So I've got, tons of roast and chops and sausage, and I mean, I had a bunch.
What kind of sausage did you get?
It's just ground sausage, if I remember right. I don't have it in my deep freeze.
Gotcha. I didn't know.
But they just ground up a whole bunch of sausage.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know if they put any like a flavor in it or anything like that.
No, nothing like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just ground up like breakfast sausage.
Gotcha.
But which is, I mean, it's fantastic. Like I said, we had it in our biscuits and gravy and on our pizza, and both of them were fantastic. So I was like, man, I'm not going to complain if I got a bunch of it.
Yep.
So, no, we got a ton of meat out of it. Like I said, the processing and everything was free, which I mean, again, like I said, you can't beat that. It makes it so easy for us. But
so, did you do anything with like your head or anything like that?
Yeah, so we both got ours. Well, both. I don't say both. Like I said, Jake got his, obviously, for his tusks and everything. Josh and I got ours to have them. I did not. I had such a mess last year with my my ram head. Trying to clean it, everything like that. I ended up burying it anyways. So this year I got back, that boar head was just massive. So I was like, nope, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just literally going to take it out, bury it, and I will dig it up eventually. I know it's going to take a little bit longer, but I was just like, with how big that is and how much work it took just for that ram skull, I was like, man, I'm not even dealing with it. I'm just going to bury it and call it a day.
Yep. Nope, I got you. Completely. It's a pain at times, but I get it. Oh man, I was super pumped though. Like I said, I didn't even know. So kind of the way I found out that Ian went on this hunt, so he just hits me up, we chat every now and then. He hits me up, sends me a picture of the pig, and I'm like, holy cow! So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have you come back on, man, and tell us this story. Yeah, I was pumped for him. I'm also pumped too. So one thing I want to talk about, this. So you've now. This is your second year hunting. I know you're still limited because this is only your second trip, but I think you have a unique perspective that most people don't have because not only are you a new hunter and you got into it as an adult and you're kind of on your own like getting into it, but you haven't you've done trips in a new state every time. You're not hunting the same country. I guess kind of if you just kind of sum up your last 2 years and what you think. So what do you think so far of hunting and everything to do with that?
Man, I'm hooked. As soon as Jake even mentions that we're planning a new hunt, like I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no talking me out of it at this point or anything like that. I love it. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy being able to go out and know where my meat's coming from, get out there, have this fun experience, nice relaxing weekend. We brought plenty of, some nice adult beverages, stuff like that. Like, we just got to go out there and relax. We went to a super nice cigar shop, Leatherwood Cigars or something like that. It's a super, super nice cigar shop out there in St. James, Missouri. So I mean, it was awesome to get out there. Like I said, no cell service, go out, hang out with some buddies, drink some beers, smoke some nice cigars, go out hunting, get some. I mean, we all got some stuff, so I mean, it just makes it so relaxing. I wish I could go eventually in the fall. Not had the opportunity to go in the fall. Every time I've gone is in the summer, and it's nice and warm. And I've been in Oklahoma and Missouri, so it's been nice and warm both times. But no, past that, it's just been a lot of fun. And like, before we started recording, I talked about trying to do some deer hunting this fall and whatnot. And my younger brother wants to get into it too. Now he is, and I'm super excited for this. Now, not the reason why he has to do, but more than likely if we go bow hunting and everything, he's going to have to do crossbow. He got into a really nasty car accident a few years back. And really messed up his elbow, and so he's got a plate and everything in there, and so he'd have a hell of a time with an actual bow. But he wants to get into hunting, same reasons I am. Like we know where the meat's coming from. You can get a bunch of it. You can store. Venison's amazing, and so he's like, no, he's like, if I can do it, he's like, I want to get into deer hunting. He's like, if you guys set something up, he's like, I want to go. So I mean, just for me, like you said, I'm a new hunter, but I'm already trying to get other people into it just because it's so much fun. But I want to see a crossbow in action, man. Like I want to see, because crossbows are wild to me. Like those bolts and everything are moving so fast. So I hope we can get something set up and get him bow hunting, just because I want to see a crossbow. I think it'd be neat. And I mean, just the same thing. Like my brothers and I are all super close, and so just to get him out here and experience the same stuff that I've been, and get out there and really enjoy it, and know that it's we're going to use this meat. It's not going to waste. Like this is a hobby we can do for a long time and everything like that. And start he can start coming on these trips, going to different states with us and getting different animals and whatnot. It's just super exciting. And so I can't speak, highly enough. Now, most people who are probably listening to this are hunters too, so they all know where we're coming from. But if there's somebody out there who's listening to it and they're not, and they want to be, like, take the jump. Find some people and you can go with, and they know what they're doing, because there's a whole lot of stuff that I'm still learning even now. There's plenty for me to learn. But it's so worth it, just knowing, where I'm getting my food from, and knowing that I've got my freezer stocked for a long while with all that meat and everything. It's awesome.
Yeah. And then one thing too, correct me if I'm wrong, the two guys that you have been on hunting trips with now, they're like, so one of them or maybe both of them do some hunting, but they're not like very experienced either, correct?
Yeah, so Josh is about the same as me. I think this is only his second hunt now too. Jake is our one who got us going, and
Mhm.
you know, he's the one who has the most experience out of any of us, and so yeah, he's the only one who really knows what the hell he's doing.
Yep. Nope, I gotcha. So that's one thing. Like I said, I think you got a unique perspective because not only it's a good thing, and now it's I guess I want to say good thing. It's a experience that I have, and it kind of a lot of people take pride in it, and I take pride in it. Is a lot of these out west hunts and stuff that I've done. A lot of it's DIY. It's it's do it yourself, and I'm learning as I go. That's kind of what my dad grew up on, and that's what he taught me. But now here in the last couple years, I've done a couple outfitted hunts. I went on a bear hunt. I've been on a bear hunt twice with the same outfitter, and he's kind of getting up older in age, so he can't be out there with you. But when he comes to camp and visit, just all the knowledge that he's telling you about the bears that he's established, like wow, he knows a lot. And then on this hog hunt, the guy we talked to, same thing. He didn't go out with us. He kind of let us have free range. But when we'd come back and tell him, hey, the hog did this, the hog did that, he had so much knowledge to tell us, like, oh, I've seen that before. This means that, this means that. And it was just cool. That's one thing I think. Come hearing both your stories now from your last two hunts, you're learning. Not only are you learning just from by experience, but you're learning from these two different outfitters who, the first one seemed like he really knew the land, and he knew, hey, I set bait here. The hogs are going to come in at this time. Hey, your rams, hey, I know they like to be on these hillsides, blah blah blah. So he really knew his land and knew his animals. And then this guy, obviously, you guys got to learn how to stalk animals from him, who does it. He probably does it weekly, if not daily. So that's like a unique experience where you're learning from like professionals. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It was a lot of fun. They said these guys do this all the time. Our guide for this trip was out there in some hey dudes in shorts.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's awesome. Like, you can tell, like, he's so used to this. So he's just out there and he's ready to go. And then that second day where we had a lot of downtime, he asked if we want to roll around in some of the trucks with him and just go drive around a lot of the rest of the land. And we were all for it. So we drove through a whole bunch of this area. We saw, their big herds of bison, their red stag, their elk, their access deer, their fallow deer. I mean, everything they got out there. Like, we were driving through their pens, and just, man, some of those animals you really don't realize like how big they are.
Yep.
Like, you were driving through, and these elk were like, as big as some of these trees. Like, it was nuts. And so, like, just being able to get that close to them and look at them, you're like, man, how are these things even real? Like, they almost look like mythical creatures just out there. Like, their antlers and stuff are like at the bottom branches of some of these trees.
Yep. I get that. So
yeah, just rolling around with those guys was awesome. Just looking at everything.
So obviously you and I talked about it before, and I'm hoping to get you out in the deer woods this fall. And if you guys come around here, definitely hook up with you. At least share some adult beverages, at least. But hopefully you guys get out in the deer woods. It's awesome. I love this time of year here in Illinois. But so the most important question is, have you guys started planning for what's the next trip?
We haven't come up with anything for sure yet. We may end up back at this outfitter again, but Jake has also talked about wanting to try and get an animal in all 50 states. So we may state. We had looked at some public land hunting out in South Dakota too, before we found this outfitter, and then realized the deal they were doing and everything like that. So that kind of rushed our decision. Not that it was a bad one or anything like that, but it just was like, hey, boom, Missouri, we haven't been there. Like, we're going. This is a great deal. We jumped on it, but we had also been looking at some public land up there in South Dakota.
You thinking that was whitetail, mule deer? I think they might have some antelope too. I'm not for sure. What are you thinking?
I don't remember what we were gonna go for. I don't know if we'd come up with anything yet.
Hadn't thought that far ahead yet.
Yeah, I was like, I think we were more looking at anything. I think we were gonna do a little bit of like varmint stuff too, and get prairie dog and whatnot too while we were up there. I know we talked about that. But as far as what we would actually be going for, I don't know if we ever even came to a conclusion of that yet. More like we were looking at maps, and
Yep.
we, again, I'm not going to lie, I'm being new and everything like that, trying to figure out public land up in South Dakota. I got overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Like, they color code everything, and some of the colors mean, to me, meant the same thing, and then some of them meant different things. I was like, man, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
You got public land, you got BLM land, you got maybe like permission land. Yeah, no, I get it.
It was a lot. We planned on going in for a while. Like, we were going to spend a long time up there, and so we're like, okay, like if we actually do this, we would need to, either find a way to camp by water or something. We planned on being in there for like a week, and I mean, or we just have to pack in a crap load of water, and I don't think that would have been super feasible.
So I have a little bit of experience on backcountry hunts now. If you are going to go that far, we'll have to have you come back on, and we'll talk about game plan, because I learned a lot on my last elk hunt last year about stuff like that. But I have some little tips and tricks that I've learned from other people. It's not that I made them up or anything. I learned from other people about water and stuff, so I could help you out with there. But no, I'm just happy to hear you excited about hunting, man, and I mean, I can tell just from talking to you, you're hooked.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Yep.
It's so fun. I mean, just everything about it, being out there, being in nature, and all of that is so relaxing to me. And I always feel like I don't ever want it to sound, I'm talking about, well, we're out drinking and smoking cigars and killing things, and that's not the fake manliness or anything like that. Like, it's the stuff I really enjoy. I'm not trying to say like that's what other people have to do or anything.
Yep.
But it's just something I truly enjoyed, like being out in nature. Even if I just sat there in the cabin that whole time, I would have enjoyed it. And so that's being able to get out and go hunting adds more. You know.
That, and I don't know about you, man, but like I said before the podcast, Ian and I are both Central Illinois police officers. We went to police academy together. I know I love my job. I know I've talked to Ian. I know he loves his job, but it is stressful at times. And it's just good to get a weekend away and like reset. And the woods, something about the woods can do that for you. I know, I'm assuming I'm not putting words in your mouth either on that.
Oh no, man, for sure. Like that was my exact thoughts. And like you said, we love what we do. It's not like work has been, and it's not like anything bad has gone on for us lately or anything like that, but just, getting those breaks and getting your that kind of reset and everything is fantastic.
Yep. I agree. Well, if you want to stay on the line, Ian, when I get these recordings off, I'll talk to you a little bit longer, but I appreciate you coming on, man. I had a blast talking to you as always. It's good to have you on. Hopefully it won't be a year next time before I have you on again. It'll be a little quicker.
I got to get a little better. You guys are on all the time, but no, dude, I'm super happy you had me back on. I love doing this stuff and everything like that. And again, not a shameless plug or anything for you, but I've broken that hat in I bought.
I saw that. Well. I saw that in the picture.
I wore it on the hunt specifically too. Like, I've broken this hat in so well now, it's becoming one of my favorites. And they had a thing where it's either orange cap or a vest, and both of our guys, Josh and Jake, went to caps, and I was like, no, man, I'm not taking mine off. I'm like, I'm wearing a vest. I was like, I'm not taking this hat off.
I appreciate it.
So again, not a shameless plug or anything like that, but I was rocking it.
And I'll put the picture of the hat right here. Go right there.
Heck yeah.
And Ian with his pig. So I noticed that. That was the second thing I noticed in the picture. First thing I noticed was how big the pig was. Second thing I noticed was the hat. Yep. That hat, I do have more in stock. You can check the website, Thin Blue Line Outdoors. But yeah, again, appreciate Ian. This podcast, if you're listening to it, it'll be coming out in the second week of September. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow. And then, Ian, real quick, what was the name of that outfitter again?
High Adventure Ranch.
All right, check them out. They took care of Ian and his buddies. Sounds like they had a blast. Check them out. Again, appreciate all the support, guys. See you on the next podcast. Bye.